Welcome back, Reapers and Reavers. Today we're going to change it up a bit. We are going to talk about MW5, obviously mercenaries, but I'd like to present to you my 10 suggestions when playing this game. And I don't do many how-to or do this, do that videos. I did one or two for Battletech Advanced. I haven't done any for MW5. It's just too much fun to do videos and discovering on your own. But here are some of the things, my top 10, that I do to make my play more enjoyable. Because if you follow my videos, if you are subscribed, then you know that I play for fun. I don't play for show. I don't play so that I get more clicks or more subs. I just play for fun. And I post it, and some people out there like it. So there you go. So, let's not waste any more time. This game can be a little unforgiving, to be quite honest. In this game, if I go here and I show you 54 million C-bills, you're going to say, wow. Well, that would have been wow in Battletech Advanced, and in this game, I can burn through that in about 15 minutes. Just upgrading my weapons, I went from 170 million C-bills down to 90. 80,000 C-bills to get my gear for 4 mechs up to tier 5. Think about that. So, let's take a look at what's the first thing you should do. I don't play for showmanship, but I do play for fun, and playing for diminishing returns is not logical for me. I want to play for progression and moving forward. And like I said, this game can be a little unforgiving. So let's take a look at the settings. There are 2 settings for this game. Now I have YAML, YetAnotherMechlab, installed as one of my mods. If you look at the mod list below, you'll see what I mean. This is one setting, and the options are the other. In this game, you want to set your displays, your graphics, your sound, your controls, and your gameplay to how you play. Make that clear, how you play. Not what's suggested to you online. So, which is kind of ironic because I'm making a suggestion video. But these are suggestions. Now, I tend to set my graphics according to my auto detect. I don't push the game because it can get a little laggy. The frame rates could drop really quick in those high value areas where there's a lot of placeables in play. And when you start getting into those war zones where there's 50, 60 mechs on the board, well, you know, that can start sucking up all of your GPU's energy. So, let the game detect it on its own. But, for the controls, I definitely set it to the way I want. So, I have Z for reverse throttle because my S, scroll all the way down, is for targeting enemies because it's right next to where my fingers are. So, S and then F tells them to everybody hit this guy. I use my guys as backup. That's how I play. So go through these. Take 10 minutes of your time to go through these. It is well worth it. The other settings are the YAML game settings. And this is where my first suggestion comes into. Suggestion number 1. Set the game to easy on your first way around. Look, it's no fun if it's a struggle and a slugfest and a constant stress just to get to the next financial hub. What's the point of playing at that point if your game becomes just another job? So, give yourself a fun experience. Go through it get to understand what your playstyle is, what you want to do in your career in this game, and then go hardcore. There's 3 presets here: vanilla, balanced, and bunkers. And balanced is, you know. But I went through this, and there is stuff that I absolutely want. I don't like having 5 or 10 or 15 different mech parts in there that I have to assemble, because it slows down the game. I've noticed that. It lags when I'm starting to pick my salvage. Even with a 16 core and a 4 gig video card, I'm lagging. Okay? It's catching up. So, one mech. If the mech is 100% destroyed and the only good thing in it is the cockpit, so be it. That's my responsibility. I picked it. I got to live with those consequences. So go through these settings. It'll completely change how you play, right? So the cheats, all units. Yeah, I like having all the units there because it gives more of a challenge on the battlefield. You never know what you're going to meet. So that's the first thing I'm going to suggest to you. Go through it through the easy mode and then give yourself the challenge. There's my baby. 2, get the mods that you want. Now, there are 2 ways of getting mods. 2. The first one is right in Steam. So when you go into Steam, you should be able to go into your library, then look at your game, click on it, and in the menus at the top, you're going to see Store Page, DLC, Community Hub, Discussion Guides, Workshop. Click on Workshop, and in this workshop, you're going to see all the mods. Now, I have them sorted on the right by top rated of all time, and I have it select all. It shows me what everybody else is really using, and what the players are using is usually most enjoyable. It adds to the experience. Here, all you have to do is checkmark it. When you hover above the icon, you're going to see a green or a blue check mark, and it's going to see either you're subscribed or to subscribe with a blue plus sign. So that's method number 1 of getting the mods you want. Now, once you have them, you're going to have to go into the game at the start menu. So let's return to the title. It's also a great way, there you are, for you to disable ones that cause conflicts, because you might install multiple mods from multiple developers and realize something. They conflict and it crashes the game. So, if that happens, go into the mods, uncheckmark them, and if you can't get that far, go back to Steam and unsubscribe from the ones that are causing the conflicts. Start adding them in one by one and see which one crashes the game. I know, trial and error, right? Not the most effective, but it's how everybody else has been doing it. You're not going to be the exception. If you find out a new way of doing it, please put it in the comments below. The other way is on the NexusMods site. Now, if you Google NexusMods, you're going to have to Google NexusMods MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, and you go through the list of mods that are there. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the section where you can download them. They go to your downloads, but you're going to have to drop them in the proper folder. So that's going to be different for most people, depending on where you installed the game. You can go to your C drive, program files, usually program files x68, and then you're going to go to Steam, and then In your Steam folder, you're going to see Steam Apps. From Steam Apps, you're going to go to the Common folder. In there, you're going to see MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. This will open up to another folder. Select MW5 Mercs, and you shall see a mods folder. What you're going to do is your downloaded NexusMod icons, once you've unzipped them or unpacked them, you're going to drop them in here. Then they will automatically appear in the game's mod list. You go in and you check mark them. Now, it's very important that you pick the mods that you want, because your playstyle will be indicative of what you're going to use and what you're not. And that's that. That's number 2. Suggestion number 3 is a little bit outside of the game, but definitely important. Get to know the lore and history of this game. If you are just starting or just coming back from, or maybe transferring from another version of this game and you haven't played it a lot, you haven't looked into it, go to the various wiki sites. This game has such a rich, complex history attached to it, and it all goes back to the tabletop pen and paper dice game. And there are novels and TV shows, and I think there's even a movie out there. It's just so complex and rich. And if you want to understand the factions and the history and even the machines, go read up on it. You need to do this, because here's why. In this game, the map will change based on what's happening when. And you may want to move forward to a specific age. I always try to move forward to the clan invasion, because that's where the good gear is. Now, that's not to say inner sphere stuff is in this game, but it is definitely subpar once the clan stuff kicks in. 2, the factions will change. Steiner and Davian will actually merge at one point and become the largest. And if you look at my map, you'll see what I mean. All that yellow used to be 2 different colors. That's right. And now the little green one at the bottom is the smallest one. And this is the Rasselhag League. And they're eventually going to disappear. So this map will change. It's a good idea for you, if you're going to be playing this game for a significant amount of time, to know where it's going to change, why, and who you should ally yourself with. Because your alliance and your faction reputation decide how much salvage you get on your missions. The mechs will change. You're going to start off with basic mechs, but once the timeline moves forward enough and there's enough conflict going on, you're going to start seeing stronger mechs, more recent versions, and then slowly but surely clan mechs, omni mechs. So it's good for you to have an idea on which ones you're aiming for so that you can save up for it. And of course, knowledge is power. Knowing where you're going to be heading into in this game will make it much more enjoyable. And it's that excitement when you see a mission, you're like, a clan enemy. Oh, you know that the clan invasions have begun. And the doo-doo's about to hit the fan. So, that's number 3. Suggestion number 4 is know your stuff. Go to the equipment markets and the mech markets and actually read what these devices in this gear does. Make a list of what you want, basically a wish list, a shopping list that you want to add to your mechs. It's always a good idea that when you arrive to a new planet, either an industrial hub or a conflict zone, to stop, look at the markets, and gauge on what you might want to purchase and buy. The thing is about this game is your mechs are only going to perform as good as your pilots and your mechs work combined together. You can have the best pilot and a crappy mech and he's going to die really quick, and vice versa is the same thing. So know what the weapons are worth. know the damage versus range versus heat development, and know how available they are, and if it requires ammunition, is the ammunition rare? Know the cost. You can do this by simply going to the market and taking 5 minutes before a mission and going through the list and reading the tooltips on each. It's it's no cost, low time consumption, and adds a lot to your knowledge base as a player. Know your stuff. That's number 4. Number 5. Play to half cash. You're a mercenary commander. You need moolah. See that 54 million up there? That's nothing. You will burn through cash in this game like you were heating your home with it. Oh, wait, some people do. So, here's what you got to do. You got to have a really, really good cushion of C-bills. Probably 75 million and up. And you get that by selling salvage. Salvage, salvage, salvage. Doing the missions for money makes no sense. But make sure that you are selling said salvage and buying said parts from an ally that gives you a bonus. Don't do business with your enemies. You can buy it from them, but don't sell stuff to them. Okay? Make sure that you are playing financially smart. Build a reputation. Do missions for those allies often. Right? You're gonna make enemies. Pick and choose who you want as an enemy. And that's where I mean by know your history in this game. Because making an enemy out of the Federated Commonwealth, when they occupy this much space, makes absolutely no sense. None. Because then you're stuck either down here, or up there. What are you going to do then? Nothing. You'll not be fighting clans, that's for sure. So, run short salvage missions as well. 4-on-4, 8-on-8 missions. Those are great. Those dual missions. Also, Warzone and Combat Zone missions are a great way to get lots and lots of salvage picks. But again, you need to have the reputation with those guys to get good salvage. Sell everything. Sell everything that you get that you're not going to use. Okay, so at first, you're not necessarily going to be picking mechs because they have something in them that you want. You're going to want to take the mechs that have the worth value the highest so that you can sell it, and then go to a market like at Terra and purchase some good stuff. And that's important. Now, once you've gotten a good amount of money and you're ready, then you're ready for number 6. And that's going to take about 15 to 20 missions at the very least. Okay? So that was number 5. Number 6. Choose and build your mechs to your playstyle. This is where all this money is going to go. You're going to want to look at hero mechs. And if you look at this little skull bone here, hero mech on the market. I don't know what that mech is. I'm not going to fly there to find out. I'm in another zone, in a combat zone, waiting to do a mission for the next recording. Here's the thing. You want to take a look at the mech market and see, and make sure you read the quarks for each mech. Each mech has a quark. It's that list of items here. And make sure you select the combat mode that you want them to do with. This is the AI's job. But your job is to know these. Does this mech have the quarks and the advantages for what you want to build with it? And does it jive with your playstyle? Then it's all about loadout. Make sure that you have the equipment that you want. This mech is an arrow mech. long distance striker for outlying enemies. So my 3 guys are finding the bulk of it when those little peskers, like the fleas and the assassins, come running around behind them and try to sneak up from going around. I whop them with a double arrow. And when they get too close, 4 medium lasers. These need to be tier 5 soon. Stuff like speedy leg actuators, lots of ammo space, laser AMS anti-missile systems. Those are all things you want in there. Clan EMS, powered sensors, advanced targeting systems, all stuff you want in there. Hardened armor, reinforced. See, all of this, it's set up to my playstyle. Oh, I need to change this. Ha ha ha. I'm glad I'm here. Much better. Plus 0.5%. Works for me. See what I mean? Do your repairs in a non-combat zone. We're going to cancel this for now. We'll do it on the next round. Okay. That basically is going to change a lot for you. Are you a shooter? Are you a basher? Are you a missile boat freak? That's up to you to decide. Know the strengths and weaknesses of your mechs. Build your team of 4 and have 4 backups. I'm running basically 11 mechs, but that's because I do consecutive missions now. You're not going to be doing consecutive missions when you start off. Alright. That. Whoa. That's not my baby. There's my baby. That's number 6. Let's take a look at number 7. Number 7 is hero mechs are often the best. Okay. My favorite, honestly, right here. The Atlas Yaret. It is a hero mech. And you'll note that most of my mechs, well, that's the Star League one, are hero mechs. And that's because they give really good quirk bonuses. 25% projectile speed modifier, ballistics, 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 ballistics. And that's why I made this thing into a ballistics monster. Hunt these hero mechs down as much as possible. Now, when you go into, oops, not there, the transmissions, these missions right here, they often give you hero mechs at the end. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. But if you can do exploration mechs, exploration missions from the Coyote kit, then you'll get them more often. But I mostly rely on going to markets like here and checking it out. I build up money, a nice cushion, so that when I get there, if they're 23 million C-bills, I'm like, okay, all right, it's expensive, but I'll take it if it's really good. The hero mechs make a big difference. Check the industrial hubs. The maps will have that skull and shield. You'll know there's one there. But even if it's not indicated, I've found Yaret mechs at Terra, and it didn't say that there was a hero mech there. So the game doesn't always show you where they are. You have to check. So like I said earlier, check your markets, check your mech markets in your equipment. Okay? Now, number 8. Like I showed you earlier, upgrading in a combat zone is just fun, not financially and time smart. You are wasting a lot of money. Go to an industrial hub like these, where the lines are joined together. Preferably not at your enemies. Now I've kind of made an enemy out of these guys, and House Marek charges me like 25% penalty on my costs. So if I'm paying 100, I'm actually paying 125. So make your allies work for you. Go to the industrial hubs and always have spare parts. Don't buy the bare minimums. If there are 2 Core 400s out there and you're going to use one right away, what tells you that you're not going to get cored out at the next mission? Then you have no Core 400. And that mech, like our King Grab a few missions ago, has to be shelved. So then you're down a mech, and potentially one of your best mechs. Have spare parts. And again, that's why you need a good financial cushion. That's number 8. Let's look at number 9. Do your weapon upgrades. Go to your battle mech section and here, weapon upgrades. It's pretty easy. You right click an item and it tells you upgrade from tier 3 to tier 4. You have 4, you need 3, it's going to cost you this much. As you can see, it's costing me $250,000 to upgrade one item from 3 to 4. My next turn, it's going to take me 4 tier 4. Okay, I have 5, I need 4. $350,000 to bring it to a tier 5. That's expensive. Now when you're just starting off, it's not too bad. 35,000, I need 1, I have 19. But you're gonna need a whole bunch just to get to tier 5. And for example, medium lasers. I had about 180 tier 1 medium lasers and about 120 tier 2, right? I burned through that and 90 million C-bills in about 15 minutes to get 4 tier 5 medium lasers. Yeah, that was... And then the very next mission, I lost 2. Because somebody blew off the arm of one of my mechs. So, know this. It's going to be expensive. Again, this game is all about the financial cushion. So, do your weapon upgrades, but know that it's expensive and there's a good percentage chance that you might lose them. So, have spare parts. Like I said on number 8, always have spare parts. That's number 9. Pilots. Go to your barracks. Look at your pilots. When you are in an industrial area, that's the best place to train them. It'll be a little less expensive. But you can train these pilots. They have quirks. And by the way, this is probably because I have the mods installed for the pilots. Take a look at the list. Let me see. Increased evasiveness. So let's take a look at Sao. Sao here has 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 6 on 6. I don't use his missile skill, so I'm not worried. 10 out of 11, 10, 10, 11, 11. 10 is usually the cap. So I've been training him pretty hard, right? He's got increased energy proficiency, ballistic proficiency, shielding capacity, energy proficiency, heat management and shielding, and evasiveness. I could probably train him again in a bit if he hasn't reached his cap level. He's about 1 level away. So once your pilot is up to high level, maximum level, and he or she is elite, you may want to keep him or her as a really good veteran pilot, or you might get to a point where you meet other pilots which already have higher skills. It's very important that your pilot has the skill set for the mech that you're going to get them to play. Now, Sao pilots the Hag being this mech right here. It's an Atlas, it's set as a brawler, and it has hyper assault Gauss rifles, 2 Hag 30s. Now it's usually right up front in the enemies, so he gets smacked around a lot. That's the one where I lost. Yeah, you can see the tier 0 lasers. That's the one where I lost the 2 tier 5 lasers. I was not happy with that. I was able to salvage 1 out of 4. Yeah. So, this pilot
Exploration and fortune has brought us to meet.
needs
Glad
really
to be
good
on board,
ballistics,
sir.
really good shielding, really good evasion. Not necessarily heat management because he's using mostly ballistics. Energy is always a bonus because he's using 4 medium lasers or whatever 4 lasers I put into it. No missiles, so I'm not worried if he doesn't increase his missile skill. That's how you pair him up. You look at what your mech does, what you're going to be using it for. It's going to be a front line, there's going to be a back line, it's going to be a sniper in the back hitting with a Gauss rifle. Set your pilot up and pair them up. I renamed them by going here onto the pencil, give them a name that is associated to the mech, and then I like giving them a new icon. Something I like to do. Be careful on dismissing your pilots. Pilot for hires are here, and I always check. Now this is a pretty good pilot right here. Major Middleton. Not a lot of heat management. Great missile capacity. Interesting. 2 other really good pilots. Wow, wow. Captain Bailey is really awesome. Yeah, we're going to hire him. And, wow, that's perfect right there. And she's only 48 out of 64. Got 2 open skills. She could be a good aero pilot. Let's hire her.
It's an honor to join your company.
There you
Let's
go.
rock.
So, making sure that your pilots are well equipped. One thing that you want to keep in mind is when your pilots really get hurt,
Exploration and fortune has
they
brought us
might
to meet.
develop
Glad
a
to be
negative
on
quirk.
board, sir.
I think I have one down here who got smacked around recently. Right there. Love of lasers. Okay. Yeah. Decrease heat management and energy proficiency capacities by 1. I need to retrain him to lose that. It's going to take 103 days. So we're going to do that. And he's out for 103 days. I can't use him. But that's okay. He's a tier 2 pilot. He's on my backup line, so I'm not too worried. So there you go. Those are my top 10 suggestions for this game. In that so far that I've played so far into it. Now, don't forget. Oh, Commander. Okay. So your Commander is limited to 10 on everything. But you're automatically, when you choose a mission, he's going to be in character slot 1 or pilot slot 1. Do not dis-equip him. I repeat that. Do not click the X at the top right of his little box and unequip him, because you won't be able to equip a pilot in that box ever again. Yeah, it's a quirk with the game. It's all messed up. I don't understand. When you want to trade the commander, if ever that's something you want to do, put a pilot in one of the other 3 boxes, 2, 3, or 4. Click on the image of that pilot, which will bring you to the list of pilots that you have, and then click on the commander. They're going to swap places so that whoever you want in slot 1 will be there. This is something I looked a lot online for, because I had unequipped my commander and I couldn't move forward. So I had to go to a previous save spot. I actually lost the mission that I was about to do because it was an instance, a Coyote instance. So not too impressed with that. I don't know why the mechanics are that way. Maybe it's the mods that I'm using. Maybe it's not available. It doesn't do that in the vanilla. Who knows? But the mechs, you can trade them off. No problem. Just don't unequip the commander. And to be quite honest, your commander's kind of immortal in this game. Can't be killed, but he could be taken out of commission. So you can be laid up, but he'll still be able to pilot for some reason. I don't understand how that works. Just, be aware. You can swap the commander out, but don't disequip him. That's not good. Okay. That's pretty much it. I hope some of this information, if any, was useful to you. If you have any other suggestions, please put them in the comments below. Subscribe, like the videos. I just do this for free and for fun. I'm not looking for monetary gains or anything, not on this one. I do have an author channel that I'm developing, so sinsofredemption.com, or just Google YouTube Sins of Redemption. Started a TikTok as well to go with that, to give little snippets of information that are going out, and that's going well. So thanks again for Reapers and Reavers. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Out here, it's all we've got. Peace.